Hello and welcome to my Monday, and I can't believe this. I'm starting filming in the afternoon. It's nearly the evening. It must be getting on for 5 p.m. My daughter's out swimming. I'm filming right by the front door, so hopefully she doesn't open it and knock the camera off the tripod. Anyway, I've been very busy today, and it's a good job I wasn't vlogging because it's all been desk-based. I'm so old school, I'm not reading the questions off my phone. I'm reading it off actual paper, and it's printed funny, look. So I'm going to be squinting a bit. I'll be doing a bit of this. You know. Anyway, I'm starting off with Joshua Jeffrey's question, and he asks, how long have you been doing YouTube and what made you start? Well, it's a funny story really, but it's probably not that funny. Basically, I was very interested in moving to Portugal. My daughter's skin was really sore at the time and I was in absolute despair. I just wanted to make her feel better, and I had realised that when we went somewhere where there was lots of nice hot sunshine, she would generally feel better, her eczema would clear up a lot. And so I looked quite seriously into moving to Portugal, and I googled moving to Portugal, and up came a channel, a vlogging channel, and they were moving to Portugal, and I'd never heard of vlogging before or being a YouTuber. I just thought YouTube was for looking up stuff you needed to know. That was pretty much all I ever used YouTube for. But up came these vlogs, and they were making cups of tea and showing what they were cooking for dinner and going out to cafes and having little walks in the woods, and I thought, I want to do that. That's exactly what I've been waiting my whole life to discover and start doing. And from that moment I wanted to do YouTube, and I started very quickly after that. I just started making videos straight away on my phone and only posted them on my personal Facebook for about the first week, and then I mulled it over, thought about it, and then decided to go for it. And how long ago was that? It'll be 6 years come around September, I think, something like that. So that was a good question. Thank you, Joshua. Next one, Faye. Would you and IB ever share the same house in the future? Maybe. I don't know. We do both enjoy our own interests and our own space, but we also like hanging out together. And because we don't live together, when we do spend time together, it's more quality time, and we tend to focus more on each other. Or even if we're both busy with our own things, we kind of do it in parallel. But it's not to say we never would. At the moment, he needs to be where he is for his work, and it's not practical for me to be there because the public transport links aren't wonderful, and I wouldn't have any independence really. I'd be reliant on lifts all the time if I was to live there, and it wouldn't be very convenient for Izzy to be gadding about either. Right, that's that one. But yeah, we might do. Who knows? Who knows? Craig Gavin. You mentioned that you lived in Portugal for a while. What did you do there, and how long were you there for? So he's asked two questions, and this is the first part of it. I was there from 1999 to the year 2000. Initially, I went as a foreign exchange student in the late 90s as part of my music degree, which is a question that's coming up later. I've just done a spoiler. So I did 3 months in Portugal, in Lisbon. I absolutely loved it. And while I was out there, I wandered into an Irish pub and happened to meet an Irish pub band, and they were Irish men who played Irish music and sang Irish songs in a pub for the entertainment of the regulars. And I got to jamming in with them on stage, and we'd get together and just play informally around the chairs and tables in the pub, you know, with no mics, just for the fun, like an Irish session, but a very small one because there weren't a lot of Irish players there at that time. And eventually, after I'd moved back to Britain, finished my degree, been doing just an office job, which was all right, but it wasn't my passion. I had a postcard from one of them saying that they were getting to be short of a member and they could do with another player. And so I was in like a shot, wasn't I? I was packed up and gone in no time. I don't know how long it took me, but it was just that time in life where I didn't have any children, I didn't have a boyfriend, I didn't own a home or anything like that. I just had a rented room in a flat. There's no great commitments. There's nothing I couldn't just hand in my notice of and depart. So I did, and my income there was just gigging. We did at least 3 a week. We had a residency, and sometimes we would do some out and about. Other people would book us as well. I wonder how long this is going to be. I was thinking there's not many questions because I didn't really make a great big song and dance about it really, but actually there's quite a few. The next one is still Craig Gavin. He wants to know, what made you decide to home ed your daughter? Initially health reasons, because of her very severe chronic eczema. It was just impossible to keep her from having skin infections when she was at school. It's a long story. She needed to sleep when she needed to sleep. She'd be awake half the night scratching and then getting up for 7:30. Sometimes she hadn't fallen asleep till 5:30, and she needed the sleep to heal, and it was just a nightmare. But anyway, I wanted to home ed anyway. I used to know somebody who was homeschooled when I was a child as well. I had a friend who was homeschooled, and she was super cool. Obviously made a good impression on me. You know, a lot of people, if they never met anybody who's home educated, might buy into the stereotype that, I don't know, they're socially inept in some way. I can assure you it's not the case, and I did have early experience of that myself, because I had a home ed friend, and when I went to uni I met somebody who'd been home educated as well, and, you know, very capable, independent, autonomous beings. So yeah, I had no qualms about that side of things. Yeah, and I was very excited to just share the world with her on that level and extend the parenting into the education sphere as well. Yep. Next, Just Jane. Is your diet for ethical reasons or why? And she's from South Wales as well. Yes, it is, but it's a compromise, because I do eat fish and dairy and eggs, and if I was being completely ethical and true to my own ethics, I wouldn't eat them. But I've tried a vegan diet. I didn't try it for that long, but I really didn't thrive on it. And when I was a strict vegetarian, I was a very strict vegetarian for 17 years and didn't eat fish. I did eat eggs and dairy, but I became really anemic. I was fine for years and years and years and years. I went right through my pregnancy, really good levels, all the blood tests were coming back brilliantly. But then when Izzy was little, I don't know what happened, but I went really anemic, and I just couldn't get on top of it. So I went back to eating fish, and it sorted it out pretty much. So there we are. Oh, I did have iron supplements as well. That probably contributed to sorting it out, but to be honest, those iron pills, oh man, I don't know if you've ever had them. They do half make you ill. Ugh, I can't tolerate them at all. So yeah, I went back onto eating fish, and I haven't looked back since, really. What is next? Did you study music at university? That's David M. Yes, I did. David M asks something related to that later, at the end. What was the actual course of study? The actual course of study was contemporary music, or contemporary art music. I don't remember the exact title, but we did not study Mozart and Bach, Haydn and all that lark. We did the really modern squeaks and bangs and whistles. Not that malarkey. There was a lot of writing essays which were very sort of philosophical. What is music, for example? If a sound is pleasing to the human ear but it wasn't intended to be music, is it music? Discuss, you know, and then be given a word count, that kind of thing. And we'd do things like taking music and putting it in different contexts to see if people would interpret it differently. For example, you might play a piece in a concert hall and then play the same piece perched on the branch of a tree. I did that one. I played some Messiaen up in a tree. I climbed up with my flute. I must have been insane. Apparently the minute I started, a huge flock of birds flew out of it. And we did some weird project. We were hiding in bushes and then jumping out and playing music at passers-by unexpectedly, that sort of thing. We had to get permission from the council to do that. Yeah, all sorts of weird things. We had to listen to ice dripping on buckets and write about that. Yeah, very unusual. What it did not teach me was just basic music theory, you know, notating and all that stuff, but I got the hang of that by just doing it off my own back, off my own bat. I don't know what that expression is. I'm gonna have a swig of coffee. Cheers. Right, next. Not many to go, actually. Serendipity. Whereabouts in Portugal would you like to live? There's a few to these. Right, she's got 3 questions. Whereabouts in Portugal would you like to live? I have to say Lisbon, because there's just so much going on all the time. There's so much variety. I love the integrated transport strategy. As a non-driver, I just love that the public transport is so affordable, and you can use one ticket for everything. You can hop on a tram, go a few stops, get off, go down into the metro, go a few stops along the metro, get off again, hop on a boat with the same ticket, go over the river, etc. I feel so independent there as a non-driver, and so many other people don't drive as well because they don't need to. The public transport is so good, so I feel like I fit in there in that way more than here, because I feel like I'm at odds with other people because I don't drive. I love the weather, of course, but that's not just to do with Lisbon. Yeah, just the absolute sheer diversity of Lisbon, the multiculturalism. Ooh, those are a few aspects anyway that I have touched on. I know a few people there, but obviously I haven't lived there since the 90s, so I don't have as many connections as I did have. Have you seen Fado performed live? Yes, I have. Not since the 90s though, but it was very good. I'd like to see some more actually. It's on my list. I know a fadaisto, if that's what you call it, a male fado singer. Haven't seen him for years though. I know you're partial to Toblerone and white chocolate, but what's your absolute favourite sweetie / chocolate you've ever had? Oh, I don't know. I go through fads with things. I'm very partial to Reese's Pieces. I like the Thornton's chocolates you get in the little boxes. Oh, had some very nice chocolate in Belgium when I was touring there with a band when I was pregnant. Right, not many to go. Oh, this is an interesting one now. Congratulations on reaching 5,000 subscribers. This is Lynn Hurst, by the way. And Lynn asks, do you know where you caught COVID? And she sends love and blessings from America. I don't know, nobody really knows, I don't think, do they, where they caught it from, unless it's really obvious. But you know me, I was gadding around the few days before. I was on buses, I was going in and out of shops, went to the hospital, went to the vaccine centre. I also had a gig on Monday night. Now, I wouldn't like to say where I've got it from because honestly, I don't really know. But I have a theory that I might have got it at the gig, partly because it was 48 hours before the symptoms came on, which I think is about the incubation for Omicron. And also I had it quite bad, and when I was playing at the gig, obviously when you're playing the flute you don't just breathe normally, you take in huge amounts of air and you keep it in your lungs and you're gradually blowing it out over quite a long time. And if you've sucked down a load of coronavirus and sucked it right down deep into your lungs, it's gonna, I think, get into your lower respiratory tract, and I think that might be what happened. And I have a theory that that's what happened the first time I had it as well, because I'd been playing in a session in a very crowded room full of people when I went down with that. So I think that's where I got it from. That's it for the Q&A part. Now, if you have any more questions you'd like me to answer, feel free to put them down below, because I can do this from time to time. I can make a little collection of them. When I've got enough, I could do another little Q&A session, or I could just answer them individually in videos, who knows. But yeah, feel free to ask if you have any more. Other news from today is I'm still tested positive for COVID, but as you can probably tell, I'm feeling brilliant. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier on, shouldn't I? I'm just feeling so well. I got loads done today. Well, actually, I didn't get loads done today, but I spent a lot of time not getting loads done because everything seemed to take longer than it should have. But yeah, I've had a real admin day today. A lot of phone calls, a lot of diarising, a lot of emailing, a lot of fiddling around with numbers and accounts. Oh, and invoices. And there was a complication about payment for something I had to sort out. Anyway. Speaking of being on the phone and appointments and things, is you're supposed to have the dentist tomorrow, and we have to fill in a COVID questionnaire, you know. Have you had any contact with anybody who's had an infectious disease in the last so many days? And I'm thinking, well, the answer's going to be yes, so is there any point in filling the form up? I'll just ring them. So I rang them, and she was like, ooh. Let me have a chat to the dentist, we'll get back to you. And no, they did not want me going in there testing positive for COVID, even though I'm on day 12 now. I'm still testing positive, so the appointment's tomorrow, and they said no. But they said it in a very nice, they didn't like go no, they were like, shall we reschedule for next week? So we've rescheduled. So that's interesting. I'm a bit confused because according to Track and Trace, I can be liberated from day 10 and I'm not a threat to anybody, but the dentist doesn't want me going anywhere near them because there are vulnerable people in there. That's what they said, because there are vulnerable patients. So that doesn't quite add up slightly confused about that one. But anyway, I thought I would, you know, just come clean about it and just do whatever they said, really, and that's what they did say. Izzy's gone out for the day with a friend and she's gone swimming, so I'm really happy and excited for her now. Izzy's interested in a particular course to start from September next year, and I've been making some inquiries on her behalf about that, particularly about funding, and somebody rang me up about that today, and it looks like she can apply and there will be funding for it. We haven't had a great history of having education funded, so very happy about that. She's absolutely delighted. There's a little bit of a change of direction for her, but she's taken the lead on it. It's something she's expressed a very big interest in, so I don't want to go into details about what it is exactly, just for safety reasons for her and her own privacy. But yeah, that's super excited for that. I've been pottering around a bit out here as well. I've been chucking the grow bags on there because I need to top up the earth anyway. These are a right old mess, aren't they? I just piled them up there when I was having the fence done and never moved them since. So I've been gradually removing the weeds and getting these ready. So soon Izzy and I will go shopping for summer bedding plants and plant it all in together, and hopefully it will be looking beautifully colourful and lovely out here. I cannot believe it's 5 o'clock already. I haven't done my Portuguese yet or had a walk. I did my Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese though, first thing this morning, 10 minutes of each. Very happy for that still. It's very exciting. I should have a walk, but I want to do Portuguese. No, I should definitely go and get some sunlight, shouldn't I? I'm going to do that next, then I'm going to do some Portuguese, then I'm going to edit and at some point cook dinner as well. But do you know what? I think I filmed quite a lot because of the Q&A. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!